Yo, what's good guys? Today I'm gonna be making a gaming slash streaming high-end PC. So I got all the parts from the shop and I'm gonna make it and then sell it for hopefully a little bit more money than I bought it for. It's been a little hobby of mine for like a couple months now, especially in isolation. There's nothing to do and I enjoy making them. Before we jump in, I just want to say if you're gonna do this at home, make sure you research. There's a lot more detail that you need to know. I don't want you to spend a week trying to get your PC running and for you to lose all the data that you've had. So on that note, let's jump in. Let's talk a little bit about the specs. So I mentioned before that this is going to be a gaming slash streaming PC. So obviously the specifications and the hardware that I chose is going to complement that. The GPU of choice is the GTX 1660. Now obviously it's not the newest GPU out there, but by no means is out of date. Still very powerful and going to get you high frames and high resolution for gaming. For the CPU, I went with the Ryzen 7 2700X. This CPU is capable of also streaming as well as gaming. So if you want to stream, or if you're planning on starting a stream, this PC build will be absolutely perfect for you. Onto the RAM. I got 16 gigabytes of 3200 megahertz RAM. I could have gone the 32 and maybe lowered the megahertz. However, I did just decide to go with the high megahertz 16 gigabyte. For the motherboard, we went with the Asus B450M-A. Supports the CPU, supports the GPU, can support the 3 fans that we've got, and also has 2 extra slots for more RAM if the person who buys it wants to eventually upgrade. The power supply, I went with a 500 watt 80 plus power supply. Yeah, nothing special there. Didn't really have to get the 600, so it was a nice affordable power supply so that the buyer doesn't end up spending too much money. Now the 3 fans I chose a blue LED RGB fan. And lastly, the thing I haven't shown, the most important, is the case. I'm planning on putting 2 of the blue fans at the front. This is glass, and glass always looks good with the bright colors on the inside. So I think with the 3rd blue fan at the back in there, at the back of the case, it'll look really, really good. So I'm gonna go ahead and open up all the components and then start putting it together. Alright, we've taken out the back plate and also the glass of the case. So this particular case, the glass didn't have like a sheet on it or anything, so I'm gonna have to end up cleaning it on the end, which is kind of annoying, but it doesn't really matter. So for the fans, as you know, we're going the blue, so I'm gonna take the fan off that it came with, and I'm trying to make a focal point of today to work on my cable management for this PC, because my particular PC is absolutely shocking in terms of cable management. Because it's mine, I didn't really care about it and no one sees it, so I'm going to make sure that from the get-go I'm making sure that the cables are clean and they're easy to tie up at the end and stuff, because you go on and you end up just making them go everywhere, and it's much easier to keep it tidy from the start.
So we've made a few changes. I plugged in a few of these cords. These are the switches for like the on and off button on the side. Also, I had to change one of the fans because it didn't plug in, the cord didn't reach far enough. So I just changed that around, and now we're gonna chuck the power supply into the port here. I've also done a little bit of cable management at the back here. I've just tied them up. I will tape them, but at the moment I want to make sure that they're actually in the right spot. So I've just used, I don't even know what this is called, a zip tie or something, for the moment. And then once we do the power supply and hook that all up, I will then go ham on the cable management, install the GPU, and put the solder in.
We've done all the cable management, put the glass on. I've cleaned the glass as well just for the presentation and popped the front on. Also, you might have noticed that this was red at the start. You can just kind of click them out. I actually changed it to white, but it also came with black, and I think the white just looked a little bit tacky, so I chucked the black in. I've just turned it on at the back and plugged it in. I can see a white light inside on the GPU, which means that the power supply is working. We obviously need to turn it on to test if all the components are plugged in correctly, which I'm pretty sure they are. So let's try for the first time to turn it on. 3, 2, 1. Awesome, let's go. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is the custom gaming slash streaming PC. I really do hope that you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, please drop it a like and consider subscribing. If by any chance you are interested in the PC, I have listed it on Facebook Marketplace as custom gaming PC. I really do enjoy making the PCs, and if you do have a custom inquiry, feel free to DM me on Instagram. But that is all we have for today. Thank you very much for supporting and watching. I will see you guys in the next video.